Right, so let's get started. So what is the seller picker application? So basically, it is an Android mobile application, and it will help with the creation of TUs, which I'll explain more about later. It will help with skill scanning and verification, and also for the collection of TUs and handover sign-off with our transporters. So some benefits of the seller picker application that some of our sellers have already experienced, as we do have about 130 to 150 sellers currently using this app. So they have actually seen a reduced incidence of SKUs with wrong barcodes, reduced incidences of short or excess picking, as well as this also will provide a record of handover items to our transporter and subsequently our warehouse, and also enable our seller support team to help track drop-offs along our logistics chain faster. Yeah, so these are some of the benefits that you can expect to have if you adopt this picker application. So I'll be moving on to the overall picker application flow. So this picker app is just one part of three applications that is used across our stakeholders. So there is the seller picker app, the transporter application, and then also the warehouse app. So for your side, you'll be using the seller picker application. So what happens basically in the app is first, the picker app will show you the daily pick list on the app every day. It will refresh the same time as the email and CWF pick list that you already received. So that would be at around 10:30 p.m. every day. So following that, the pickers will use the application's camera function to scan the barcodes of the SKUs and place them into TUs. So TUs in this case, I will explain a bit more, is simply any existing box, carton, or bag that you are using to already pack our SKUs in. And then after that, you will submit the TU and the pick list to our system. Once it has been submitted, this information of the TUs will be transmitted to the transporter application, where they'll be able to see the list of TUs to be collected per seller. Subsequently, transporters will be able to open the list on their app and then scan the TU label barcodes to receive all your items by TU packages. After which, there will be a sign-off process where the seller will be signing off on the transporter application as indication of the handover. So after which, this information of the collection will be sent to the warehouse app, where they'll be able to see the number of TUs to be received from each of our transporters. And then afterwards, the warehouse will also do receiving via the TU barcodes and packages. And then the transporter will sign off on the warehouse application to complete the handover process. So this is a quick overview on how the seller picker application fits in with the larger picker application flow across the entire first mile chain from seller, transporter, and warehouse. So if there are any questions, you can type it in the chat box on the side in this meeting, and we'll take all the questions at the end of this presentation. So now I'll be moving on to how the picker application works. So firstly, you will open the picker app on your phone, and then you'll click on agree on the SAP license term, and then the blue button below. And then you'll just wait and then log in with the same username and password credentials as the same one that you're using to access the CWF seller portal. So for here, this is a UAT account, so it will be a dummy admin login and password. So once you click login, just wait for the screens to load. And you'll see this is the landing page. So do wait for this confirmation pop-up that you see, and then click OK. So the confirmation pop-up is important so that our application syncs up with our system database. So for the second part, how do you view the pick list for today? You simply click the pick list button, and then you will see today's pick list right there with the quantities to be scanned and today's date. Just simply click on the pick list number and you'll be prompted to scan a TU label. So once you scan a TU label, you'll be able to see the TU is automatically created inside the TU label list. So the TU labels will look like this picture on the side here and will be provided to you by us. So once you have the TU created inside the application, you just click on the TU number and you'll be able to see the list of SKUs for you to pick today. So the SKUs are sorted by storage type. So it'll be auto store on the top and then frozen and chilled SKUs towards the bottom. And you'll be able to scroll down to see the entire list to be picked for the day. So once you want to start, just to reiterate on the TU creation, these are the labels that will be provided by us. Currently, we do not provide you totes. So as I mentioned, TUs can be any sort of carton, box, or bag or packaging used to pack the SKUs in that you are already using. So you simply will be provided these labels and you will stick these labels on whatever box or carton that you are already using. So these TU labels will be provided to you in stacks of 300 sticker labels at the start. Yeah, do note, I'm reiterating again that Marketplace currently does not provide any kind of totes for your use. So just going back to storage types as well, I'm sure you will also be familiar with the various storage types that we have in Marketplace. So we do require you to pack the items separately by storage type. So you would see here, for example, all your bulky items or ambient items will have to be under one TU, and then all the frozen items will be in another TU, and then of course chilled items will be packed in a separate TU, as per this picture example. So further information on storage types can be found on this slide. This slide deck will be emailed to you after this session. Right, so moving on, how do you add SKUs inside your TU? So you just have to click on this click to scan button. Right, just a few seconds, just scan the product barcode and automatically one quantity will be added into the picked inside this TU list. So actually you can simply just keep on scanning any barcodes of any products and it will automatically be added inside the picked inside this TU list continuously, as you can see from the video. So this will hopefully reduce the time it takes for you to do the picking, as you can pick continuously if you have all the items already in front of you. Yeah, so also do note that you will have to pick according to storage type. So you will see here there is an AS Auto Store storage type indication here on the side, as well as the quantities. And you can see here for this SKU, it would be a C1 storage type. So it would have to be packed separately from the auto store storage type SKUs. So there are validations in place in the application to help you with that as well. So I'll be explaining that in a later slide. So this is one way in which you can add in SKUs to the TUs, which is what we call the scan one by one method. So where you can just continuously scan barcodes until you hit the TU box limit, or you scan a SKU that is of a different storage type. Right. So there is also a way to update the quantities manually. So this is the method. You simply click on any SKU inside the picked inside this TU list, and then this page will come up. So if you click a SKU here, you'll be able to edit the quantity on this page here with your keyboard, and you can just simply key in whatever quantity you have added in and click the save button on top. And then automatically the quantities will be updated here. So hopefully, this will help you save even more time. For example, if you have a very large quantity, very big quantity of SKUs to be scanned, so you can simply just key in the quantity that you're adding into the box instead of scanning one by one. So these are the two methods that you can use to add SKUs inside your TU box. So just to reiterate again, only SKUs of the same storage type can be scanned into this TU, such as in this example. The two SKUs are both of the same storage type. So do also note that the limit for each TU is 15 unique SKUs. So by 15 unique SKUs, we mean SKUs and not quantity. So these SKUs can be of any quantity, as long as it's 15 unique SKUs and it can be fit and it can fit into whatever box that you are packing without overpacking the box itself. So this is just something to take note of, that it's 15 unique SKUs per TU. So you may continue adding more TUs as required on this TU list page by simply scanning in another TU label. And you can continue creating more TUs as necessary. So here in this example, we have created 4 TUs right here. So this scan TU button up here will allow you to simply scan another TU barcode to add in more TU labels here in this list for you to scan SKUs in. So let's say you're happy with these 4 TUs and you've scanned everything in your pick list. All you simply have to do is click this confirm button here. And once you click the confirm button, you will see that on this summary page, you'll see a green tick here with the remaining quantity as 0 and the pick quantity as 22, which has been now submitted to our system for today's pick list. So once you see this green tick, you're all good to go and the information has been captured by our system for handover to our transporters. So just some additional features to highlight for the picker application. So the first one would be priority SKU indicators. I'm sure some of you would know that on the physical paper pick list, there is a priority column and priority SKUs are indicated with a Y. So on the picker app, it will not be indicated with a Y. Instead, the SKU itself will be highlighted in red and sorted to the top of the list for your easy reference. So you'll be able to know which SKUs are the priority SKUs. So other gatekeeps in this app is such as this error pop-up for if you scan an item that is not in the day's pick list. So if you try to scan an incorrect barcode that is not registered in that day's pick list, you will see this error message prompting you to try again. So usually in this case, we do recommend sellers to check that the barcode is not damaged. A camera is pointed directly at the barcode. The correct barcode is being scanned. Do take note of that as well. And if there are no other barcodes or QR codes within the scan area as well. So similarly, if there are excess quantity scanned, it will also prompt that there are no remaining quantity for this barcode to be added anymore. So hopefully this will prevent any excess picking. So for storage type validations, if you do try to scan in, for example, a frozen SKU into an auto store, into a TU with already scanned in auto store SKUs, you will be prompted with this message where the storage type of the box and the article you're trying to scan must be identical. So it will prompt you to scan again. So in this case, if you have SKUs of different storage types, you would have to start a second TU box and scan in a second TU label and scan the storage type of those SKUs in separately. Yeah. So there is also a deletion function in case you scan in any SKUs into a TU and you would like to remove them after. So you just simply need to click into the SKU that you have picked. And then after that, there is a trash bin icon on the top right, and then you can just click delete and confirm it, and the record will move back into the articles to be picked list, to be picked again into the same TU or into another TU. So what happens if your SKU is out of stock, which will result in a short pick from you? When you try to submit the pick list to our system, you'll be prompted with this pop-up where you'll be prompted to check the list of SKUs that have yet to be scanned. So actually this, if you are OOS for these 2 SKUs, for example, you will be able to see the list here. And if you're okay with that, you can click the proceed button and our system will capture that you have not picked these 2 SKUs for that day. So of course, if you do run out of stock for any SKUs for any reason, do remember to update your inventory via the seller portal and under SKU maintenance. So we also have cases of what happens if the TU label is damaged. So someone scratched it or like water damage, then now the label cannot scan. So what do? You can actually edit the label details without rescanning everything inside again. So all you have to do is click this pencil icon. And then just scan in a new TU number and click save, and everything inside this TU will be populated into the new TU number without any action on your end to rescan any of the SKUs. Similarly, if you wish to delete any TUs that you have created, you can also click this pencil icon and then click the trash bin icon and click OK, and everything that you have scanned inside this TU will be removed and will be moved back into the articles to be picked list, where you can pick it again into another TU box. So just an extra note here, after submission, you are still able to view what you have submitted for the day. So you can actually click back into this pick list and you can see the list of TUs, what you have, the quantities you have picked inside each box, and the number of SKUs inside each box. And then once you click into this, you can see the further details of the items that you have picked inside each TU. So do note that you will only be able to see this list for that day itself, and after 10 p.m. it will be refreshed to the next day's pick list. So now I'll be talking briefly about the handover process to the transporters. So some things to take note of when you're preparing for your TUs for collection. Do make sure that the TU labels and barcodes are not damaged. Do make sure they are stuck securely onto whatever carton or bag you are using. And also do make sure that you do still indicate the pick list number, the date, and any carton one of however many cartons you have for that day as well on the box. This is to have a record of what this box is in the event of any label damage along the first mile or at our warehouse itself. So we will still be able to identify this package. So once the transporters arrive at your store, they will be able to see this list of TUs. So this is how a screen on the transporter application will look like. So they will see the list of TUs to be collected. And then once they scan a TU, there will be an indicator, Y indicator here, that they have collected it from you, and it's under this pick list for that day. So every store will have their own list of TUs on the transporter app once you have submitted the list to our system. So transporters will then use their application to scan the barcodes of the TUs, and after which they will ask you for a sign-off on their application. So do note that it is important that you do be present for this handover so that you are able to sign off on this application. In the event that you are not there at the store for the handover, our transporters will be indicating this signature field with an X for indication, and we are able to pull out these signatures should we need further verification. So that is how the handover to the transporters will go. So just a process summary for whatever I have talked about so far. So firstly, the picker application will display the pick list for that day. And second, you have to create TUs by scanning in a TU label on the TU list page. Thirdly, you will add in SKUs into the TU. So do note that the TU limit for the SKU limit for each TU is actually 15 SKUs. So it used to be 10 SKUs, but we have actually managed to work with our warehouse to update this to a bigger capacity. So now it is 15 SKUs. So don't worry, I will amend this slide later. Do remember to pack your SKUs by different storage types separately. And do note that, of course, there are several safeguards in the application, such as prompts when there is excess quantities of SKUs scanned, or SKUs are not found, or deletion of SKUs, and etc. And fifth, once you're done, do confirm and submit the SKUs and the pick list in the application to our system. And lastly, our transporter will scan the TU labels at the point of collection when they come and pick up from your store. And lastly, they will ask you for a sign-off on the transporter application. So that is just an overview, process summary on how the seller picker application will go. So right now, I'll move into a quick seller picker app demo from my phone. So it will take a while for me to switch screens. So in the meantime, if you have just joined our session, do let us know your vendor code in the chat box of this meeting. Right, so I hope everybody can see my mobile screen. So you might have to switch pins if you have pinned my slides to your screen. So you might have to switch over to my mobile phone screen presentation for the demo itself. Okay. So right here on my mobile screen, you would have seen, you will see two pick lists. Of course, this is a UAT environment, so do note that in actual, you only have one pick list for the day for PFC pickups. So I will just be choosing a pick list. So once I click on the pick list, you can see that I'm in the TU list page, and I'm prompted to scan a TU label to start. So these TU labels will be provided to you by us, as mentioned before. So all I need to do is click the Scan TU button, and then I will scan a dummy TU that I created. And you can see it is automatically created in this list. So currently, of course, the pick quantity is 0, and the number of SKUs is 0, as there is nothing picked inside this TU yet. So to see the list of SKUs to be picked for that day, I will click into the TU list. And you can see that this is my list of SKUs to be picked for today. So here, you can see that the quantity and the storage types are written on the right. And then information presented on this screen is the product description, the supplier product code, and then the barcode at the bottom. So this is for your easy reference to check, of course, if your barcode is correct on your product, for example. So to add a SKU into the picked inside this TU list, I will click the click to scan button, and I'll open up the camera. So I scan the product barcode, for example. You can see it immediately opens up the camera again. So actually, I can just keep scanning, right? So let's say I've scanned this 3 times, and I click the X button on the camera. You can see that 3 quantity of this SKU has been scanned inside this, picked inside this TU list. So of course, I can continue adding in like other SKUs. For example, I can just simply scan another barcode, right? And you can see that the list has been automatically updated. So what happens if I want to amend the quantity of the SKU directly? So all I have to do is click on the SKU itself, and you can see that this field highlighted in blue, I can simply just change the quantity to however many I've put into the box. So let's say if I put 6, I click the Save button, and automatically the quantities are updated in both lists. So of course, if let's say I try to scan a barcode of an item that is not in the pick list for today, or just any random barcode, you'll get this prompt that says no article found for the scanned barcode. So this simply means that the item that I'm trying to scan to add in is not in today's pick list. So at this point, we do advise you to check that the item is correct and the barcodes are correct. Right, so moving on to explain how to delete a SKU from the TU, you can click into the SKU, click the trash bin icon, click delete. And you can see that it has been deleted. So moving back to the TU list, I can simply scan in more TUs. For example, if you wish to create another box or you're starting another box, you can just scan in another TU label and continue adding in the rest of your list into this box. So I will just be adding in a few more SKUs. All right, so you can see here, if I click back, you can see that the summary numbers for each TU has been updated. So the picked quantity for TU box 1 is 6 and the number of SKUs 1. And then for the second one that I created, the picked quantity is 3 and the number of SKUs is 2. So let's say if I'm happy with this and I click confirm, it will prompt me that there are still items remaining to be scanned because, of course, I haven't finished scanning the entire pick list yet. So here I can click the checklist button and I can see the remaining quantities that I have not scanned into any TU yet. So of course, let's say if I'm really out of stock for all the items remaining in this pick list, I can simply just click proceed. And then you can see now there is a green tick for this pick list that I have selected and submitted to the system. So once you see this green tick, even if you try to click in and access the pick list again, you will not be able to scan or add any more items inside as it has already been confirmed. So all you'll be able to do is just see and review what has been picked inside these 2 TUs that I submitted, for example. Yeah, so that is just a short demo on how you would expect this seller picker application to work. So some common troubleshooting or issues that sellers do face, sometimes you might not see this update pop up when you first log into the application. So we do recommend that you log out, close the application completely and try again to make sure that you get this first pop-up so that it will sync up with our system at the start. And secondly, sometimes the app does crash or sometimes it hangs. So if you do encounter that, we do recommend that you follow these steps. So firstly, try to clear app data and cache in your phone. Try to reboot your phone. And if that really doesn't work, try to uninstall and reinstall the application. So of course, if none of these work for you and you're really encountering a very big issue, do take screenshots of whatever error messages you are facing and raise it in the support WhatsApp group chat, which all of you will be joining at the end of this meeting, with information of your Android phone model and whatever Android phone version that you are using for easy troubleshooting with our tech team. Other important notes is because this application is syncing live with our system and saving your scans as it goes, do try not to switch between applications as it may cause syncing issues. Do also wait for each page to load. Usually it is quite fast, so there shouldn't be any worry for that. And also do try to use your phone in light mode, as dark mode on certain phones might cause some text to appear faint or invisible. So I'll be moving on to some very popular FAQ questions. So hopefully it will answer some of your burning questions here. If not, you can raise that up later. So the first one is, how do you download the application? Well, you just need to search FairPrice MP Seller on the Google Play Store or follow this link here. And the most popular question is, what happens if you don't currently own an Android phone or you only have an iPhone? We do recommend that you consider acquiring an Android phone to support the adoption of this picker app, as we will be rolling out more features for this application as we move forward. And of course, I'm sure most of you will know from the email, after 27 September, we may be introducing some form of administrative fee to cover the manual receiving operational load, should you choose not to use this automated flow. Some sellers have also been asking, will you be providing rental phones? At the moment, no. That is the short answer. And what exactly is this admin fee? It is still in discussion with the internal team, but it will most likely be a charge per quantity of items also. For example, maybe an extra fee of 15 cents per quantity. So that has not been confirmed yet, so please do not worry. It is still in discussion. So other popular questions are, my pickers are non-English speakers. Will the application support other languages? Currently, the app is only in English. Of course, there is this training session, and we do have all the guides which will be given to you or can be accessed currently via the Seller Pulse website. But do let us know if you need any further support in other languages, and we may hold training sessions for them if there is demand. Second question, next question is, how will you get TU labels? It will be provided to you before you start using this picker app. So after this session today, we will be arranging with our transporters to distribute the TU labels within the next 2 to 3 days. So if you're running out of TU labels at any point in time, because your sales have been doing very well, you can request for a TU label top-up via this link. Don't worry, this link will also be shared in the WhatsApp support group. And another popular question is, you don't want your staff or pickers to use the admin account to log in to use the app. You can create sub-accounts in the CWF portal using the Manage Vendor Account tile, and the sub-accounts will also have access to the picker application. Sometimes the app might crash, cause a large delay, or for some reason your picker didn't bring their phone, or the app has a problem and you're not able to use the application for that day. So do not hesitate to raise the issues to us. Within the first 14 days, you can come via the WhatsApp support group. After that, you can contact your FairPrice representatives. So that might be the seller acquisition team or your account managers, and they will be able to advise. Of course, if the app picks up a wrong barcode issue in one of your SKUs, we do recommend that you try to print the barcode from the pick list to stick over the wrong barcode for that day so that our warehouse does not reject and the application does not reject your item. And of course, do remember to keep your barcodes updated. And of course, lastly, any feedback on this application is always very welcome. You can feedback via the WhatsApp support group or through the seller feedback form in this link here.